Imagine walking into the Dubai Air Show. The sun gleams off polished jet fuselages, crowds mill past dazzling displays, and overhead, fighter jets streak through the sky in perfectly choreographed formations. The air buzzes with excitement, cameras click, and executives from defense companies and governments quietly nod at multi-billion-dollar deals being showcased in the sprawling exhibition halls. It's a place where military technology meets prestige, where every aircraft on display tells a story of national pride and engineering prowess. Then, suddenly, the spectacle is interrupted, not by a failed maneuver in the sky, but by something almost comical on the ground. One of India's crown jewel aircraft, the TIS Light Combat Fighter, is parked quietly in the static display area. And then it happens. Oil begins to drip steadily from the underside of the fuselage. Not a catastrophic explosion, not a loud alarm, but a slow, persistent leak that catches everyone's attention. The Indian ground crew scrambles. They don't have professional containment equipment nearby, so they improvise, grabbing plastic shopping bags from nearby gift shops and booths. For several tense minutes, crew members squat awkwardly under the aircraft, trying to catch the drips. The scene looks absurd, almost cartoonish, like a sitcom moment in the middle of one of the world's most serious air shows. Within minutes, visitors start taking videos and photos. The footage spreads online, instantly turning what should have been a display of technological sophistication into a viral spectacle. Suddenly, the TIS is being jokingly called the peeing fighter, and the incident becomes a global talking point. One small technical glitch, and the proud image of a nation's flagship aircraft is transformed into a meme, showing just how quickly reality can clash with expectation in the digital age. This moment, funny yet humiliating, sets the stage for a deeper story about pride, national ambition, and the fine line between engineering triumph and embarrassment. To understand why this oil leak caused such a stir, you need to know what the TIS really represents. The TIS isn't just another fighter jet, it's India's flagship, homegrown light combat aircraft, developed over decades with the promise of showcasing made in India technology to the world. For the Indian government and Air Force, it's a symbol of independence, national pride, and advanced engineering. Every prototype, every flight test carries the weight of a nation's expectations. The TIS has a long and complicated history. Its development began decades ago, often facing delays, budget issues, and technical setbacks. Engines failed during tests, deliveries lagged behind schedules, and every glitch was scrutinized publicly. For years, it has been both a technological ambition and a cautionary tale of how challenging it is to build a fighter jet from scratch. So when this aircraft, meant to impress the world, started leaking oil in the middle of an international air show, the embarrassment wasn't just about a fluid spill. It was symbolic, a platform that represents national achievement, painstakingly marketed as a triumph of Indian aerospace, was suddenly exposed in front of hundreds of international visitors and billions of online viewers as fragile and flawed. The contrast couldn't be sharper. A carefully cultivated image of strength and self-reliance versus a small, visible failure that instantly undermines it. And that's why what might seem like a minor technical glitch, a simple oil leak, hit so hard, turning the TIS into a viral sensation for all the wrong reasons. In today's world, nothing stays private, not even a tiny technical hiccup at a prestigious air show. The moment the TIS started dripping oil, smartphones were already out. Visitors recorded videos, snapped photos, and within minutes, the scene was all over social media. The reactions were immediate and unrelenting. People started calling it the peeing fighter, a nickname that captured the absurdity perfectly. Memes popped up showing the aircraft in comical scenarios, comparing it to clumsy pets or even cartoon characters. What was meant to showcase national engineering excellence was now a viral joke, shared across continents. The contrast made the moment even more striking. Across the showgrounds, Pakistan's JF-17 Thunder fighters performed flawlessly in the air and on display. Where one aircraft became a source of ridicule, the other reinforced its image of reliability and operational competence. Online, comparisons emerged instantly. One leaks, the other flies like a clock. The TIS, intended as a crown jewel, had inadvertently highlighted its rival's success. This incident shows just how fast perceptions can spread in the digital age. A minor ground issue, once confined to technicians and organizers, can now become a global spectacle in a matter of hours. In many ways, the TIS oil leak wasn't just about a technical failure. It was a lesson in how visibility and public scrutiny have become as important as engineering itself. To really understand the embarrassment of the TIS incident, we need to look at the bigger picture. The TIS isn't just any fighter jet, it's supposed to compete with other regional aircraft like China's J-10 and Pakistan's JF-17 Thunder. These are not only competitors on paper, many of them have proven themselves in real-world operations. Take Pakistan's JF-17, for example. It's a joint development with China, built for reliability and combat readiness. In several conflicts, Pakistani pilots have flown the JF-17 effectively, demonstrating tactical success and operational stability. Meanwhile, China is already phasing out older models like the J-10 as it moves toward more advanced fighters. India, on the other hand, is still refining and upgrading the TIS decades after its initial development, with no large-scale operational history to prove its effectiveness. Historically, the Indian Air Force has struggled to bring its indigenous fighters into consistent, dependable service. Delays in development, recurring technical issues, and limited combat experience have all created a pattern of underperformance compared to regional peers. The oil leak at Dubai isn't just an isolated mishap, it's a visible example of a broader trend. India's aerospace sector has often struggled to match the reliability and operational maturity of its neighbors. In short, the TIS glitch wasn't just funny, it was symbolic. While competitors demonstrate strength and efficiency, India's flagship fighter showed vulnerability and inconsistency in front of the world. It set the stage for further discussion on why these problems keep happening, leading naturally to the next section. Industry insight: the role of HAL and manufacturing issues. Behind every aircraft, there's a story of design, engineering, and maintenance. For the TIS, that story involves Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, or HAL, India's state-owned aerospace manufacturer. HAL has been responsible for building and maintaining the TIS, but the company has a reputation for problems that go beyond a single oil leak. Over the years, multiple aircraft that went through HAL maintenance faced technical failures, sometimes leading to crashes. Unlike countries with tightly controlled aerospace industries, China, Russia, France, or the US, HAL often works with patchwork upgrades and inconsistent quality checks. This can turn even minor issues, like a leaking oil line, into public embarrassments. Imagine buying a high-end car and having the mechanic put it back together with parts that occasionally fail. You might get away with it once or twice, but in front of an international audience, every flaw is amplified. For the TIS, the oil leak became a metaphor for these systemic weaknesses, decades of delays, maintenance shortcuts, and engineering compromises that leave the aircraft vulnerable. HAL's struggles show why a small glitch can spiral into a global story. It's not just a single leak. It's a reflection of deeper structural problems in India's aerospace industry. And as we'll see next, these problems have political and strategic consequences far beyond embarrassment. An oil leak at an air show might sound like a minor embarrassment, but in the world of defense and geopolitics, perception is everything. For India, the TIS incident had implications that reached far beyond the static display area in Dubai. First, it affected India's global image. Countries watching the air show, potential buyers, allies, and rivals, saw a flagship aircraft falter in front of hundreds of international visitors. In defense diplomacy, credibility and reliability are critical. An aircraft that can't even manage a controlled display on the ground raises doubts about its performance in actual combat. Second, rivals took notice. Pakistan and China in particular used the incident to highlight the contrast between India's struggles and their own operational efficiency. Where the TIS faltered, Pakistan's JF-17 flew perfectly. Online, media outlets and social networks amplified the story, turning a technical issue into a narrative about strategic weakness. Finally, there are economic consequences. Defense exports rely on trust. If India's indigenous platforms are seen as unreliable, potential buyers hesitate or reject offers outright. Failed contracts, canceled orders, and lost revenue are real costs of what might seem like a small mishap. In short, the oil leak was more than a humorous spectacle. It revealed vulnerabilities that could affect India's military reputation, regional influence, and even its defense economy. And of course, these consequences play out in the public arena, where perception often matters as much as reality. Once the images and videos of the TIS oil leak went online, the reactions were immediate and intense. Internationally, social media exploded with jokes, memes, and comparisons. Many viewers from China and Pakistan mocked the incident relentlessly, contrasting the TIS with their own fighters that performed flawlessly. In a matter of hours, a minor technical glitch became a global punchline. Meanwhile, within India, the reaction was more complex. Some media outlets downplayed the incident as a minor technical glitch quickly resolved by the crew. Others framed it as an isolated hiccup, urging citizens to focus on India's broader aerospace achievements. Yet many ordinary viewers couldn't ignore the visuals, and debates sparked online, mixing embarrassment, humor, and national pride. This clash of narratives highlights a key tension: the gap between public expectation and operational reality. Citizens are taught to see the TIS as a symbol of national strength, but the incident exposed a human and technical vulnerability. It became a lesson in how media and perception shape our understanding of technological achievements, or failures. The viral nature of the story also shows that in today's world, the public's eye is global and relentless. A small mistake no longer stays behind closed hangar doors. It is amplified, critiqued, and remembered. And as we've seen, these social and media reactions set the stage for broader reflections on India's aerospace ambitions, which leads naturally to our final section, lessons and reflections. The TIS oil leak at the Dubai Air Show might seem like a small, even funny incident, but it tells a much bigger story about technology, national pride, and the consequences of ignoring fundamentals. The aircraft, meant to symbolize India's aerospace strength, instead became a viral symbol of vulnerability. It shows that no matter how advanced or ambitious a project is, operational reliability is what earns respect on the global stage. Looking forward, the incident offers some clear lessons. First, ambitious projects need strong quality control and maintenance systems. Without them, even minor glitches can spiral into international embarrassment. Second, perception matters as much as performance. In the age of social media, a single visual can define a nation's reputation overnight. Finally, India's aerospace sector must balance pride in homegrown technology with realistic assessments of readiness, reliability, and global competitiveness. The TIS may continue to fly, and future models may succeed, but this small oil leak will linger as a metaphor. Prestige without reliability can quickly turn into ridicule. It reminds us that progress isn't just about ambition. It's about execution, discipline, and results. As viewers, it's worth reflecting. How should India approach its next-generation fighter projects? What can be done to ensure national pride and international credibility go hand in hand? Share your thoughts in the comments, because incidents like this aren't just about aircraft. They're about the lessons we can learn in engineering, leadership, and national strategy.